experiences, are Game 5s any more intense than the previous 4? Especially if it's tied 2-10 like you guys are?
I mean, you think so. I mean, I haven't really looked at it and said Game 5 is something different, but all these games are the same. Like you said, you got to be ready to come out and compete from the start. You got to have an attack mentality on both sides of the basketball, and you just got to go from there. And I thought, last game they came out and attacked us early and kind of had us on our heels to start the game.
Do you tell the team that there's a sense of urgency, or do you just keep them even keeled?
No, I mean, we know there's a sense of urgency. I mean, from game 1, it's not just because it's 2 teams. Like, we understand, like, when the playoffs start, you got to have urgency from the beginning. As soon as the jump ball goes up, you got to be ready to go, and you got to be impactful in any ways you can. And so we know we got to start the games better. Like I said, games 2 and 3, they had 16 points in the first 4.5 minutes, and in game 3, they had 20 points in the first 4.5 minutes. And so we got to start games better, especially with defensive identity.
So I know James' impact is not necessarily always, with the shots.
I can't hear you.
I know James' impact isn't always just with the shot attempts that he takes, but he looked pretty passive from his shot perspective in the first 3 quarters of that game. What did you notice about what they were doing, or was it more just on him trying to get guys involved?
Yeah, I mean, they decided they're going to take James out of the series, or try to take him out of the series. And James is a dynamic player, so he can beat you with the pass, he can beat you with his scoring. And so if they're going to do that, we just got to make the right play. We got to make the right play. We know what we should be doing, and so we just got to go from there.
Chris has had games where he's punished them for leaving him open, and there's been times where they've been funneling the ball and the shots haven't been going down. How do you weigh the balance between when he's not making shots, keeping him out there because of what he's able to do defensively, and then also just, kind of deciding when it's time to
just seeing how we're playing defensively. Like, we have confidence he can make the shots, and if he's not, he brings more to the team, like you said, than just making shots. But if we're playing great defensively and they're not scoring either, he's a big part of that, then you just got to balance it from that way. And that's kind of how I look at it.
Going back to the end of game 4, like, you had that lineup on the floor and they defended extremely well for 10 minutes. Like, what goes into keeping that group together when you need a stop versus, situationally finding other guys on the field to get the one stop that you need?
Yeah, I mean, our coaches, we talked about it, but those are the guys that brought us back. They were fresh. I mean, they had a lather, they was ready to go, and a lot of the guys been sitting on the bench for a long period of time. So the matchups wouldn't change. Guys would be on certain guys. And like I said, if the shot hits the rim, it's a different situation. He shot an air ball, a perfect air ball, and he's able to dunk it in at the end. So I just stuck with the guys that got us going in the game, and the other guys have been sitting there for a long time.
You see the game that you ran, you see the Lakers team in this game where Jimmy plays all his dudes, same lineup for 24 minutes straight. Like, why is it important to get guys in and out over the course of the half and use your depth as opposed to basically going for that full blitz or whatever and hoping the lead is big enough?
I wish I could do that too. But I know y'all gonna talk about it. It's all what the game calls for. You can't question. I mean, y'all always got questions about what a coach does when they lose the game. What if they'd have won?
The Lakers didn't win.
What if they'd have won? What we just said?
It would have been the same thing as game 4. Clippers, Nuggets, pretty much.
No, I'm saying if they'd have won, would you have been talking about he played his guys the whole second half? Would it have been a story?
Probably.
No, but if not, they'd have won.
If they would have won, they would have been that whole snap. Like, they use 5 guys for 24 minutes. Nobody does
whatever it takes to win the playoffs. I don't care if you play a guy 100 minutes. Like, if you got to play 100 minutes to win the game, you win the game. And so, you can't question, what a coach does, or that's what kills me the most. Like, yeah, okay, y'all have y'all opinion, but at the end of the day, if you're trying to win a game, you don't know what goes into that. Like, so you write your stories. You write stories about, oh yeah, but you could be wrong too in your stories. Don't nobody call y'all out. So,
call us out.
No, they don't. Well, people don't read it really, but I'm just saying. All I'm saying is, like, when it goes into winning the game in the playoffs, you never know what you got to go through to get to that point. And so a coach guy does what he has to do to try to win the game, and that's it. And like making a big deal out of what guys play, you prepare for this moment to get to the playoffs, so your guys can play more minutes and do whatever it takes to win the game.
In a low-paced game, like this series has been, like for example, from the 7-minute mark to the 2-minute mark, the Nuggets were able to use up like 45 seconds just rolling the ball up in total. Is that something you look at in such a low possession, low pace kind of game?
Yeah, I mean, that's why we was having Bodie get up the floor and try to, give him to pick the basketball up. And like I said, Joker's one of the smartest guys in this game, just from that type of stuff, from sitting on the bench like he's coming in the game during timeout, so you look at who's in the game, he's not in the game, and all those little things, and so that's why he's one of the best.
Are those things you want to prevent?
Joker averaged a triple-double this playoff series. What do you do now? What do you do differently? You keep the same
We'll
game
see.
plan? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll
What's
see.
that?
We'll see tomorrow.
What does that entail? We'll see.
We'll see.
So to be clear, you were referencing that final defensive possession. The reason why you didn't make a sub is because you felt the guys in the city too long.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought the guys that got us back in the game were playing great defensively, and then at the end of the game, those guys were sitting for a while. And what would have been the difference? Shot every ball he dunked it in.
Yeah, no, I was just making sure that's what you were saying.
Yes, that's what I said.
So that thing where they waste clock, is that something you have emphasized to the guys to pressure up more? I know guys.
We did it during the game, like we told them to do that. Yeah.
I mean, you said often that you don't want guys to get bored with success or with the process. Like, what, especially coming off of this practice here, like what gives you the confidence that they finally have that message and can get 2 more wins in the series?
They understand what we need to do. I think we've had slippage, especially, paying so much attention to Joker. So when you're paying a lot of attention to him, you kind of lose sight of the other guys, or things we wanted to take away. So a lot of slippage on how we want to guard certain players and certain things we want to do. And like I said, Brown got, I think, 12 layups or 12 shots in the paint last game. So we understand that he's going to run the floor. We understand he's going to cut. And those are things we got to do a better job of taking away.
Can this game get this series get any more tricky than it was with the typical fouls on?
Yeah, he can get more tricky.
You cool with that?
I'm cool with it.
The guys cool with that?
You got to ask them.
Well, the thing is, what I thought was good, no one got kicked out.
Yeah.
They were ejected from the game.
Right.
Referees, they understand what's at stake too.
Yeah, they did a good job. I mean, in the playoffs, there's going to be some scuffles. There's going to be some pushing, some shoving, and the guys are competing. And they want it so bad, And so I don't think anybody should get thrown out for that. Just because you're competing, and if you haven't done anything to hurt another player, you should be fine. You shouldn't be thrown out of the game.
Boston said they guys could get hurt.
Who got hurt?
You have to kind of remind the guys though.
I can't hear you.
You have to kind of remind the guys though. With how that altercation went, there could have been some ejections. Like remind them that hey, like the game is obviously more important than any kind of physical altercation.
No.
You have to remind them.
In the playoffs, like I tell you, whatever it takes to win the game, man. And guys are competing at a high level. And like you said, when you get to this point in the season, yeah. No, I didn't tell the guys nothing. Just play basketball. Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
Let's get ready for HoopJab.